Rome, a name that echoes through time like the clang of a legionnaire's sword on a battlefield. From a tiny village on the banks of the Tiber River to the capital of an empire that stretched from the windswept shores of Britain to the sun-scorched deserts of Egypt, Rome was more than a city. It was an idea, a culture, a machine of conquest and civilization, and eventually, a shadow of its former glory. In this documentary, we will journey across 1,000 years of ambition, betrayal, power, glory, and collapse. From its legendary founding by Romulus to the brutal fall of Constantinople, this is the entire history of the Roman Empire, from rise to fall. So, grab your armor, or maybe just a snack, and let's begin.
Every great civilization has a beginning steeped in legend. Rome's origin is no different. According to Roman mythology, the city was founded in 753 BCE by Romulus, a warrior raised by a she-wolf who killed his twin brother Remus in a dispute over where to build the city. Now, let's be honest, wolves don't usually raise children, but this myth did more than entertain. It gave Romans a story of divine origin, toughness, and destiny. What's fascinating is that early Rome wasn't a grand metropolis. It was a cluster of huts on 7 hills near the Tiber River, surrounded by Etruscan and Latin neighbors who were often more powerful and more sophisticated. But Rome had something different, a unique mix of ambition and adaptability.
Rome's monarchy ended with a scandal. In 509 BCE, the last king, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, was overthrown after his son committed a horrific act against a noblewoman named Lucretia. Her suicide sparked outrage, and thus the Roman Republic was born. Now picture this. Instead of kings, Rome would be ruled by elected officials called consuls, and a powerful senate composed of aristocrats. It was a bold experiment in governance, part democracy, part oligarchy, all Roman. But the early republic was messy. There were constant clashes between the patricians, the wealthy elite, and the plebeians, the common people. The plebeians wanted more rights, and over time they got them: tribunes to represent them, written laws, and eventually access to high office. Rome was evolving politically while sharpening its military blade.
Rome wasn't content with just its own backyard. Over the next few centuries, it fought and absorbed its neighbors, the Etruscans, the Latins, the Samnites. But nothing tested Rome like the Punic Wars. Cue dramatic drums. In the 3rd century BCE, Rome came face to face with its greatest rival, Carthage, a wealthy maritime power in North Africa. The First Punic War was fought over Sicily, and it dragged on for 23 years. Eventually, Rome built a navy from scratch and won. Then came Hannibal. In the Second Punic War, the Carthaginian general marched elephants over the Alps and crushed Roman legions in battle after battle. At Cannae, Hannibal killed over 50,000 Roman soldiers in a single day, a massacre that haunts military strategists to this day. But Rome didn't give up. Instead, they adapted. They changed commanders. They fought smarter. Eventually, under Scipio Africanus, Rome invaded Carthage and defeated Hannibal at the Battle of Zama in 202 BCE. By the end of the Third Punic War, Carthage was annihilated, literally burned to the ground. Rome now controlled much of the Western Mediterranean.
With victory came wealth and problems. Rome's conquests brought in massive spoils of war, including land, gold, and hundreds of thousands of slaves. The latifundia, or large estates, grew rich, while small farmers were pushed out. The gap between rich and poor widened. Corruption festered. Political violence became the norm. Enter the Gracchi brothers, Tiberius and Gaius. These reformers tried to redistribute land to the poor, but both were murdered by senators.
an ominous sign of what was to come. Here's an analogy. Rome's republic was like a wagon overloaded with gold. The more it expanded, the more unstable it became, until the wheels started to wobble.
By the 1st century BCE, Rome was boiling. Powerful generals like Marius and Sulla used armies as personal tools. Civil war became a political strategy. Then came Julius Caesar. A brilliant general and charismatic populist, Caesar conquered Gaul, modern-day France, and became a hero to the people. But when the Senate ordered him to disband his army, he crossed the Rubicon River, declaring, "The die is cast." What followed was civil war, again. Caesar emerged victorious and was declared dictator for life. Some saw him as a savior. Others saw a king in disguise. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, Caesar was stabbed 23 times by senators, including his friend Brutus. But the murder didn't restore the Republic. It shattered it.